National Assembly rejection. We call on patriotic senators and representatives to vote against this illegal action when it comes before them for approval. The National Assembly must stand on the right side of history and not allow itself to be used to legitimize an unconstitutional power grab.
Atiku speaking in the press conference organized by the coalition of opposition parties to oppose Tinubu's illegal and unjustifiable declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State. The most important takeaway from this press conference was when a journalist asked the panel whether this coalition is the coalition that will battle Tinubu and APC in 2027. And they responded in the positive. Let's take a listen.
Sir, this coalition speaking against the events in Rivers State. The last time we have seen representatives from the major opposition parties, the PDP, the SDP, and the Labour Party. We know that in politics, sometimes it takes one event for politicians to rise up in unison to say enough is enough. And the last time we saw this kind of coalition was prior to the 2015 general elections. Sir, are we seeing this united front go ahead into the 2027 general election, thus assuming is the bet of the major opposition against the APC? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Not that opposing Tinubu's illegal declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State is not important, but Nigerians must understand that for people in power to change, they must start receiving commensurate reaction to their actions. Otherwise, they will continue pushing boundaries. It is Rivers State today, tomorrow it might be anywhere else. How about a new president waking up in the future to declare a state of emergency in Lagos State? Yes, Buhari didn't do it, especially during the NSAS protest. Nigeria was practically shut down for several days. There were lootings, killings, many things, but he never declared any state of emergency. Not to talk of removing or suspending any elected official. So this is dictatorship taken too far, and the worst part is that the people affected are not doing anything about it. How can other Nigerians be fighting for Rivers people and they are not at the forefront? They are the ones that are mostly affected by the declaration of state of emergency. If they decide to start looting Rivers State Treasury, they will be the ones to pay for it. Even the governor Simfubara that was suspended from office, he hasn't said anything to oppose his suspension. Maybe he's just trying to show that he's a quiet type, that he's not violent, he's not desperate for power. Let them do whatever they want to do. When they are tired, he will return to power. But these people will never be tired. As the latest report by People's Gazette shows, they are now sharing $25,000 each to many lawmakers so that they can approve the state of emergency declaration in Rivers State. This is a huge opportunity that these lawmakers will lose. This is the best time to prove their authority, to prove Nigerians wrong, that they are a rubber stamp. Yes, but it seems that money is their primary concern. They are not interested in the violation of Nigeria's law, which they swore an oath to uphold. They are not interested in making sure that the law needs to be amended before Tinubu can remove someone from office. And if they are truly paying as high as $25,000 to each lawmaker, that's the greatest proof you need that Rivers people will pay for it. That's if they are not already paying for it. Because the sole administrator has started granting interviews in Port Harcourt and Tinubu handed over the state allocation to him. What a mess. He didn't contest for any election, no one elected him, but he was appointed by Tinubu. Who do you think he will be loyal to? To Tinubu, of course. Handing over Rivers State allocation to him is illegal. They are doing exactly the same thing they accused Fubara of doing, that he was spending from the money without going to the House of Assembly to present a budget. That was also in the judgment of the Supreme Court. So does two wrongs make a right? Let's even assume the reason they are releasing the state allocation to the sole administrator is for him to be able to pay workers' salaries. But they could have done the same thing with Fubara. It's as simple as telling him to furnish them their wage bill. Yes, so that they can release only the wage bill to make sure that all workers are paid. They can keep the rest of the allocation until the budget is presented. Anyway, it's very clear to even the blind that these people are interested in Rivers Treasury. It was never about budget. It was never about the law. It was just about who will control the treasury of Rivers people. It's also a pity that the Attorney General is defending this to the extent that he is making laughable excuses. These people, when they want to defend illegality, they don't know that it tells a lot about them instead of the person they are defending. How can he say that the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State by Tinubu saved Sim Fubara from impeachment? How laughable. Impeachment would have been better because it is legal, it is constitutional. That's one of the ways a governor or any other executive office holder can be removed from office. If they supported impeachment, even if they did mago at the end of the day to remove him through that impeachment, it would have been far better acceptable than this illegal suspension. Now, let's hear what Rufai said concerning one of their narratives that Obasanjo did it. Why are people opposing Tinubu when he's just following precedent? You know, they always like to compare to justify their actions whenever it suits their narrative.
It is true that in those cases the governors were suspended. These suspensions were challenged in the courts, and in 2006, the Supreme Court of Nigeria gave a judgment clearly stating that even though by then Yahya had been restored to office, but lashed the Obasanjo administration and said that under no circumstances will the emergency provisions in Section 305 be used to remove any elected official. That is the law. The Supreme Court has spoken. No legislation or constitutional amendment has changed that. So that is the law. No person or authority can remove an elected official, whether governor, deputy governor, or member of the legislature, without going through the due process of law. In the case of governor, by impeachment, in the case of legislators, moving on. Those are the only ways you can remove an elected person. You cannot conform with the mandate of the people under Section 305 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court has spoken and is very, very clear. What President Tinubu has done is violently unconstitutional and unlawful. Our hope is that the National Assembly will for once today, this National Assembly, that everyone accuses of being overstaffed, will at least for once stand with the people of Nigeria.
Before this press conference began, they announced names of politicians that are part of this coalition, who for one reason or the other couldn't attend the press conference. People like former Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi, former National Chairman of APC Abdullahi, and many others. They didn't mention Rebuke's name, by the way. Maybe they didn't inform him or he's not part of the coalition. Anyway, what is clear is that Rufai is bringing the entire CPC into this coalition. Remember, CPC was part of the parties that formed APC. Buhari used to be their leader, but now that he's no longer in power, he can't attain any higher political office. It seems that Rufai wants to inherit that CPC. There's been rumors that many former ministers under Buhari's administration are either in the process of decamping to SDP or they have decamped already. This is a welcome development and will definitely shake up Nigeria's political space. Tinubu and APC have had a free reign the past few years. No one is actually opposing them directly. People just grant interviews on TV stations or maybe online. No one sits in a press conference to address the press like they normally do. So this is a welcome development. Everyone that is opposing this administration must join these people. Yes, when it reaches the time to decide who will be the candidate of the coalition in 2027, Nigerians will cross the bridge when they get there. Why this coalition is very important is that they will kind of unshackle Nigerians from the grip of fear, whatever has struck Nigerians, that they cannot even protest or speak up or do anything. They just swallow whatever is coming their way from this administration. So imagine what will happen when they call for a protest and they are at the forefront. These caliber of politicians are leading a protest. They will motivate Nigerians to troop out in massive numbers to protest alongside them. This was exactly what APC did in their formation years. Yes, they mobilized the people. They unshackled that fear in them to protest. And people once again came alive and started protesting and started demanding for good governance. If you don't resist this administration, they will do worse. Like already said, when they don't receive a commensurate reaction to their action, they will continue pushing the boundaries. Tinubu is behaving this way in his first term. It shows that he doesn't care what Nigerians think, whether they will vote him again in 2027 or not. His confidence is coming from rigging by INEC and the judiciary. So Nigerians must wake up and resist. If you don't resist, you can't blame anyone in the future. Just like what is happening in Rivers State. People are calm, moving around. No one is protesting, no one is demanding that justice be done in Rivers State. Now, let's hear a few lines from Atiku Abubakar.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the historical unrest in the Niger Delta should not be forgotten so soon. Past administration had made great efforts and sacrifices to restore peace and stability to the Niger Delta, which is critical to the economic health and stability of Nigeria itself. This federal government should not manufacture political crisis that could disrupt the fragile stability and return the country to the past that we have all prayed to leave behind for good. We must never allow personal political interest and the desire to hold on to power at all costs to throw the country into unavoidable chaos through brazen subversion of the principles of federalism, democracy, and constitutional governance. This is not just about Rivers State. It is about the future of Nigeria's democracy. Thank you.